When systems are unclear, there is nowhere for failure to hide. For many years, performance was propped up by heroics. Leadership judgment compensated for broken workflows. Manual reconciliation masked data conflict. Governance lived in meetings instead of execution. That era is over. AI removes discretion. Volume removes forgiveness. Speed removes ambiguity. What remains is structure. This is my 2026 prediction. Organizations without clarity cannot redesign roles for AI-enabled operations. They cannot create upward mobility tied to new execution models, and they cannot align skills to how work actually moves. In healthcare and public institution, this failure locks the workforce in place while demand accelerates. The system cannot absorb change, so the organization loses competitiveness. This is not about adoption anymore. AI is already embedded across finance, operations, workforce, risk, and customer experience. In healthcare, delivery, public services, and regulated environments, this embedding is not optional. It's already operational. The failure point is integrity. Systems with no single version of truth fracture under pressure. Systems without enforceable decision logic freeze execution. And systems where governance sits outside the work lose control at scale. Systems that rely on institutional memory collapse when volume spikes. In healthcare, this shows up as stalled patient flow, workforce exhaustion, and fiscal exposure. In public systems, it shows up as funding disruptions, service instability, and loss of trust. This is not inefficiency. This is structural failure. Workforce strategy stalls because the system cannot move. High performers do not leave because of AI. They leave because system blocks the progress, and talent becomes a microscope. It exposes where authority breaks, where accountability dissolves, and where execution becomes futile. At the same time, static leadership models begin to fail, not culturally, but structurally. Fixed hierarchies cannot absorb AI-enabled speed, governance load, and fiscal scrutiny. This is why healthcare systems and public agencies are already shifting towards fractional AI-literate executive authority. Fractional leadership emerges not as flexibility, but as necessity, not to advise, to stabilize, not to add layers, to enforce logic where it breaks. This is not a staffing evolution. This is a structural triage. And this applies everywhere. Hi, everyone. I'm Vanessa Dodds. I work as a fractional chief operating officer and executive systems leader, helping organizations fix the structures that determine whether performance holds or fails. When the system is ready, performance follows. When it is not, nothing moves. Thanks for listening, everyone. And remember, fix the system first.